Justin Pritchard, Driving.ca. This is the Ford F-150 Lightning Platinum with the extended range battery. Four-wheel drive thanks to 2 electric motors. Big frunk full of power outlets up here. Application-specific suspension under here with 50-50 weight distribution. And a set of Michelin X-Ice winter tires, which are some of my favorites. And look at all this snow. I've been excited to drive this thing forever. This is like Christmas and my birthday, so let's hit the road and wait until you see how the headlights on this thing work in action. I first got acquainted with the F-150 Lightning during an all-highway road trip from Mississauga, Ontario, back home to Sudbury, roughly a 425-kilometer drive. After a week in the cold with my tester, a full charge at the freezing mark revealed a maximum range of 355 kilometers. That's based on my driving habits with the heat blasting, sport mode engaged, and typically an all-highway driving scenario at a good clip. You could easily squeeze out a few dozen more kilometers at these temperatures, more still if you do mostly stop-and-go driving. The coldest temperatures I saw on my test drive were about -12 degrees Celsius. This further drop in temperatures knocked a few more kilometers off of the Lightning's range, now good for 320 kilometers of toasty warm, highly spirited driving. So if you're like me and you've got a heavy foot in the snow, and you like your cabin at sauna-like temperatures, you're looking at about 480 kilometers of range at room temperature, about 355 at the freezing mark, and about 320 at -12 degrees. Based on plenty of past experience, I'd expect about 240 kilometers of range at 30 below and over 200 at 40 below. On my watch, I was able to add 140 kilometers to the battery using a DC fast charger while I took a washroom break, bought a coffee, and checked an email. That's about a dozen kilometers per minute while you're connected and no need to stand outside in the cold. If you connect to a charger like this one while you stop for an hour of shopping or a sit-down meal on a road trip, your battery is virtually refilled by time you return. Charging on a 120-volt household outlet parked outside at the freezing mark, I was able to add about 1% per hour to the battery, roughly a 10% refill overnight. But at home I used a level 2 charger which can all but refill the Lightning's depleted battery overnight and ensure you'll wake to a full one virtually every morning, even if it's very well drained and very cold outside. So we've been plugged in on level 2 overnight. The battery's fully charged. It's a little over the freezing point right now. And let me show you what to expect when you come out to your F-150 Lightning in the morning ready to drive. So we've just unplugged. We can fire it up here. But let me draw your attention to this. The truck's been parked and switched off for the past 15 hours or so. But check this out. You can see up there in the top of the instrument cluster, we've got the temperature readouts on the left there for the battery and on the right there for the motors. What you can see is that both of those temperatures are right up in the middle, sort of operating temperature range, even though we haven't driven the truck for the past 15 hours or so. So by leaving this plugged in when it's cold out, we're actually maintaining some heat in those two fluids, sort of like a block heater actually. And that means that when you come out on a cold morning, you've already got some usable temperature in that system, which means that we've got some warm air coming out of the climate control system pretty much immediately. So by leaving it plugged in the winter, almost like a block heater, that means that you're pretty much always going to return to a fully charged battery in the morning, and some usable heat in both of those systems, meaning that you've got warm air from the climate control right away and that you're not using any of that electric range to help heat up the cabin of the vehicle, which means you can drive further on a charge. We even got a little light switch there for the lights up on top.
In the middle of the night there.
Very handy. This might be the opening sequence. Oh yeah, little grocery bag hooks there.
Yeah.
That's clever.
I just like opening panels.
What's that? Oh, the battery. Well, a battery that runs all the accessories and stuff. And that's obviously not the one that drives the car. But, neat. Now we know where that is. Winter driving enthusiasts, listen up. Not only does the F-150 Lightning give you a low-cost joyride after every blizzard, but harsh winter driving conditions are where you'll see some of its very best work. My tester wore a set of Michelin X-Ice SUV tires, a member of one of my favorite winter tire families, and if you're considering a set of winters for your Lightning, I think you'll be very impressed with these. Between each of the 20-inch wheels wearing them is an electric motor, one for the front axle and one for the rear. These motors are precisely controlled and synchronized to give drivers an always-on, decision-free 4x4 system that requires no driver decision-making at any time. That is, other than a locking rear differential that can be engaged if required. With all that power and torque available the millisecond your foot hits the firewall, and with no power curve or gears to shift, the performance and acceleration are smooth, totally noiseless, and very quick. In city traffic, when the lights turn green, you can sail right through the intersection noiselessly before anyone else's transmission is even meshed up, and even in a few inches of fresh powder. This never gets old, and the Ram Hemi guys absolutely hate it. But it was on powder-covered back roads where the Lightning and its winter rubber put the biggest grins on my face. The traction is spectacular. Electric motors can control the rate at which they apply power to the wheels very, very precisely, and electric four-wheel drive systems have tremendous freedom and control versus mechanical setups. Less parts and processes are required to shift and shuffle engine power between slipping and gripping wheels during icy acceleration where conventional traction control systems click, buzz, and scrub, and where conventional all-wheel drive systems can lurch, catch, slip, or lash beneath the driver. The Lightning just delivers a smooth flow of forward thrust and grip that grows the deeper you get into the throttle. Even when fighting to extract maximum grip from a slippery surface, the acceleration is virtually as smooth, quiet, controlled, and refined as you'll get on bare pavement. You've always got enough snap to fling snow from the tire treads on command, and you'll rarely detect any sort of intervention from the brakes or throttle management. Typical sensations of slippage or struggle in deep snow are nowhere to be seen. And with a highly precise four-wheel drive and traction management system picking up on the added grip of these highly competent winter tires, the Lightning feels expert at managing wintertime traction smoothly, quietly, and with no drama or harshness apparent from the driver's seat. With a good set of winter boots on, snow and ice do little to upset the Lightning's composure in the powder. Even trying to prompt some clumsiness from the systems by accelerating while cornering over split traction surfaces had little effect. The Lightning just follows the line the driver selects with no axle lash, catching, slipping, or wheel spin. You'll be amazed at how smoothly this truck puts power to the ground even in challenging situations. Braking is similarly impressive. The pedal lacks much meaningful feel, but even on snow and ice and deep powder, stops are straight, reliable, and confidence-inspiring, with that great upfront bite into inches of powder that I've come to find a signature strength of Michelin Excise tires. More broadly, and taken with the inherent quiet and smoothness of driving in fresh snow, the result from the driver's seat is one of the most peaceful, quiet, and confidence-inspiring winter drives I've ever had, even in situations that tend to be stressful. For the $1, I did leave my tester wishing for less rubbing and clicking from interior panels on rough roads, though these sounds did seem to diminish with each passing day as my brand spanking new test truck broke things in. In all, the ride feels pure pickup truck when the suspension is under fire, though the overall sensation is more tough than uncomfortable. Highway steering feel powerfully communicates a sense of stability and security back to the driver's fingertips, though I did often find myself wishing for a lighter steering feel at lower speeds, for instance while parking. Here, the Lightning's length, girth, and stocky steering feel can make for a bit of a wrestling match when maneuvering in tight quarters. On snow-covered highways, the Lightning showed off another benefit, its road feel. With a heavy battery pack mounted low and wide on the floor and no engine up front, the weight balance clocks in at 50-50. This makes for more stable and predictable handling and eliminates that light-in-the-tail feel characteristic of most pickup models. Add in its 6,500-pound weight and Lightning-specific suspension setup, and the result is an F-150 that feels solidly locked onto the road surface across the gamut of winter driving conditions. The suspension calibration works nicely to mitigate rebound after sharper bumps that can send the back of other pickup trucks for a bit of a ride. And so it looks like a pickup, but drives in the snow more like a big, high-performing SUV. When it comes to trucks, this is a completely new experience when it comes to winter driving. The LED headlamps are bright, white, and far-reaching, both up the road and into the roadside. Use them on a snowy back road once the sun's gone down, and they absolutely ignite the scenery, with the sort of high-quality, thickly saturating light that I expect for the money. I'm Justin Pritchard for Driving.ca. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below so you never miss a new upload. And until next time, take care and drive safe. If you like this video, we've got plenty more like it, so consider hitting the subscribe button down below so you never miss a new upload. Leaving a like if you learned something new. And until next time, take care and drive safe.